Greetings everyone, and welcome to today's live session of the Live Painting Channel. Did I mention it was live? Yep, we're doing another live session here today. Just finished a painting. Been working on it for about 2 weeks. Not really, it's about 2 hours worth of total work, but just finished it. I mean, I literally just signed it and am ready to lock that one into the archives here. This painting was a painting inspired by my trip to the Joshua Tree National Monument outside of Palm Springs. Well, actually about 80 miles from Palm Springs. Wonderful, wonderful time down there. I really got enchanted by the desert, and I want to do a lot more desert paintings. I was born in the desert, actually down in Bisbee, Arizona. Not many people even know where that is. Look it up sometime. You'll find some interesting stories about Bisbee. Anyway, I'm actually pretty happy with that painting. But I want to put it over here and to dry, and then we're going to work on another painting today. For anyone in the audience who might have a suggestion, I am always open to suggestions on what to paint. After all, it's live painting. However, I do have one that I started, and interesting story about this painting is that as I was working on it, we experienced a power outage here, and the lights went dark, and the whole painting was aborted. I was working on a big tree here. I painted a big tree on the right hand side here, and I don't know, I just made the artist decision at the time to go ahead and call the tree removal service, which I say kind of in jest because I removed the tree. And today, what I was thinking of was continuing it with this painting, which I'm liking, actually. All right. Well, thanks for the comment there, Willet Rose. I assume you mean the desert painting is your favorite, huh? I'm glad I got a fan club out there. We are now, I think, on painting 8 or 9 since I started the channel. Pretty cool. We do a painting once a week. I produce the show every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Do the math for your time zone. I'm just going to raise this up a little bit, though, so we can get it a little bit better framed in the viewers window there. I love this palette. I mean, this easel. This easel is wonderful. Got it from Daniel Smith Art Supplies. Nice art store. In any event, what I like about it is several things. One is you can adjust all kinds of angles on it. Like I got angles galore here. You can adjust the face angle, so if you like it more vertical or laid back. I'm kind of laid back today, so lay it back a little bit. You can adjust the whole painting canvas size, and it clamps it into place, so you don't have to worry about the painting coming loose there. I'm going to tighten that just a little bit more. And I don't know if I've ever, I've shared this before, but I gotta tell you, I love this thing that I put down here. I made a little invention, which is a paper towel roller built into the easel. I'm going to show you that with my high-tech Steadicam here, in case you've never seen that. Check it out, a little roller of paper towels built right into it. And I added a new feature just last week to my little painting thing, and that is I bought this little piece of aluminum bar, and when I put a reference, if I have a reference source, reference photo or some piece of art or something, I just tape it onto this little bar. It's pretty cool, like so, like I did for the desert painting. And then there's a place where I clamp it on the back, and it makes for a nice little reference painting holder. Pretty cool. In any event, I've been thinking about this painting for a little while because it got aborted and the power outage. And then I had the tree removal service come in and take out that big tree I did. And I thought to myself, well, here's my chance to really work on the part that I really think needed to work on anyway. First, I just got to do a little bit of work on the mountains. But I wanted to point out that this is the visual effect that I was going for, actually, and it's working. Mountains tend to recede into the distance if you have like little ranges of mountains, and each one is a little lighter as you go back in towards the horizon. So I think I've got that. I just wanted to work on a little bit of definition in the mountains. Then I'm going to go all out and we're going to put some palm trees in here because after all, this is a painting of Palm Springs. I don't know if I mentioned that. So let me just get my palette started up here. And really simple palette. For this, I'm just going to use a little bit of phthalo blue and white, a little bit of gray, dark charcoal, which is how I was working on that. And I'm going to just add a little bit more, not much, just a little more definition. I was thinking right in here, make it a little bit darker. Simple palette. Sometimes simple is better. A little bit more gray, you know, and I almost always add a little bit of gray or quite a bit of gray into my pigments for the most part, because you'll find that mountains are rarely, or actually scenes rarely are pure colors. They often are kind of, if you add a little gray or some other neutral tone, that'll help you. So what I wanted to do, oh perfect, that's what I was looking for right in there. Now actually that mountain kind of came up like that in my mind's eye a little bit more. Had a little bit more of a jagged effect there. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, they're my mountains, so you can make your own however you like. Well, actually, that's almost exactly what I was looking for. Cool. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Extra credit if you know where that little saying came from. I love it when a plan comes together. Anybody in the audience guesses that, you get extra credit. Maybe one day I'll start issuing like little gift cards for those things. But every once in a while I will offer a painting, usually to solve an art riddle of some sort during one of my shows, just to make it kind of fun. The last one was won by Bugsy in Wisconsin. She correctly guessed one of my riddles. Just kind of something fun to do. So what I'm working on now is just a little definition in that particular mid-range mountain. So I got to really take a closer look at that and work my palette up to be kind of make sure it's what I'm looking for here. Yeah, there we go. Gradations are where it's at when you're doing these kind of things. Gradations. Alright, that's actually looking pretty good. And you don't have to be super precise because nature is rarely a bunch of straight lines or anything, but I'm actually now I think I pretty much added the definition I want. Yes, I did. A little bit more here on this far mountain. That little mountain tip there got kind of truncated, so I'm going to fix that. By the way, composition is always something to think about as you start a painting. It's really two things. You're gonna get the linear and geometric layout. I usually start with some pencil or felt marker sketches as to how I want the composition to work, and then I lay in some lights and darks. And you'll see some of my progression paintings on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos of these paintings. If you're ever interested, you can go there. I'll post the YouTube information at the end of this show, as I always do. And by the way, we're broadcasting today live on Twitch. It's an interesting platform. Wow, it's really, really popular amongst gamers and such, but it's got a big art section. So that I chose this as my primary platform because it has a large audience, and also it's got some good technology behind it for streaming. However, there's one thing that you out there in the audience can help me with, and that is getting people to follow my channel. It's called Live Painting Channel on Twitch. Again, I'll post my information, but if I can get up to if I can get 50 followers, you'll start being able to see my videos posted on Twitch rather than always being on YouTube. Hey Google. Hey Google. Not that there's anything wrong with YouTube, don't get me wrong. But I'm kinda grooving on Twitch right now. And I've had people just sort of randomly find this and drop in. And I really do encourage interaction on the chat room there. It's pretty cool because we can have little chats. You can hook up with your buddies, your friends, trade recipes, anything you want. I always recommend getting a cup of your, if you're doing any painting or artwork of any kind, get a cup of your favorite beverage, you know, some Starbucks or something. And being from Seattle, I think people might actually these days have to sign a contract when they move to Seattle that they have to buy Starbucks. I think. I don't know. I heard that. Anyway, what was on my mind today as I was getting ready for the painting channel? Oh yeah, I'll tell you what's on my is still on my mind. Is on my mind. It's like, why do people do art? Why do people do art? Well, I can only really speak for myself. And by the way, I'm gonna add a little bit of definition over here into my little tree line there, and we're gonna start getting bold again. We're gonna put in some palm trees pretty soon here, but I'm gonna add a little bit of definition to this band of vegetation and trees back in here. Just a little bit of interest. What was on my mind is thinking about for myself. What is it about art? Why do I pursue art? Have for all my life, and I think I came out with an analogy, a metaphor, so to speak, and it kind of goes to Mahatma Gandhi. Many of you who know who that is, once said, and I paraphrase, that there's nothing you can do in your life to make a huge change in the universe. But he said it's vitally important that you do something. So this something for me right now is art in my life right now. And as I was sharing when I first started the live painting channel, last summer, right now we're kind of right in the middle of winter, kind of getting closer to spring, but we're right in the middle of winter. And last summer I felt like might be getting in kind of a rut. I don't know, have any of you in the audience out there ever been in a rut where it just seemed like every day was the same as the one before, And I knew I could do better than that. I knew I could live in the moment. Done it. Shared with how to do that with other people, but I found myself falling into a very black and white pattern of doing the same thing every day. Get up, go to work, come home, eat, watch the news. Oh my gosh, the news these days. And I like that, what I just did. Anyway, so I just decided that I'd push myself I decided I would get on a live medium of some sort. In this case, I created it myself on YouTube and Twitch, and I just decided that every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time that I would do a live painting session, and I have every Sunday since then, and I've really enjoyed it. I gotta tell you though, it takes like all of a sudden it's 10 minutes to the hour, and you haven't decided what you're gonna paint. What are you gonna do, right? Well, you'll think of something. Like right now, I'm doing a little bit of a continuation painting, and that's okay because I wanted to finish this anyway. But man, we start some good paintings here. Sometimes the audience will suggest a topic or a theme or something. Oh, you know what? A lot of times I'll just do it. I'll just jump right on it. So I'm really kind of liking these little highlight definitions in there. Just add some visual interest and the way the light might be filtering through that little band of trees along through there. I'm liking it. Now this is a golf course actually. I was staying on a golf course right on the 14th green of the PGA Stadium course. Any golfers out there, say hey to all the golfers, because this is a golf mecca down here, Palm Springs, Palm Desert actually. And this is actually basically a view from our patio, the 14th green of the PGA Stadium course. Now, as we get into this though, I need to start forming a little bit more strategy. Okay, so my strategy is pretty simple. It's going to be putting in and developing this middle layer of trees and such. And I'm going to just go ahead and be quite bold and just start doing that. Lots of water. Full palette today. Here, that's good. And I'm going to go with a fairly, sometimes I love these rough old gnarly brushes that have been used for years. I'm going to use just a rectangular brush. It's got a lot of use on it, a lot of wear and tear. A little bit frayed. I like that though, because you'll see what I'm going to do here. I see in my mind's eye some deciduous trees popping up in here. And there's one in particular that I'm going to decide where to put it. I'm just going to say, where's that diagonal again? Where's that diagonal one? Right about in there. Ah, right here. I'm going to put this deciduous tree right in there. Notice I'm just gobbing on paint. It's kind of fun, actually. Literally just blonk, blonk, blonk on the paint. And it starts to kind of mix itself. It's really cool when you do that. At least I think so. So I'm just taking and making a nice little deciduous tree thing here. Just probably need to get a little white in that. Yeah. Stabbing that to get that effect on my brush and the palette. Okay, I'm believing it. I don't know about you, but I'm believing it. You know what? I think it has a little companion over here. It's not quite as big. Right in there. I like the way it starts to get a little overlap with my background there. Remember, in painting, you can break these rules if you want, but if you're especially in landscape, if you start from the back and work forward, you'll find that your life is easier. Otherwise, you end up trying to go back and paint by, kind of like paint by numbers, if you ever remember those old sets when you were a kid. So you work from the back, pretty simple sky today, the back range, the middle range, and so on as we come up, and then it lets you just kind of create some depth in your painting that way. And another thing, direction of light. So it's always good, if not important, in my opinion, to establish a direction of light. In this case, it's kind of like this. And that lets me add the shadows and the dark and light as it might be, as your mind's eye might expect it. Okay, so I like that one. I wonder if I could put one more little bush tree. Well, it's bigger than bush. It's a tree. Right back in here. So that's looking pretty darn good. Now this is actually, I'm going to do something kind of like painterly here. Watch this. Watch. Ooh, I just doing some pretty interesting stuff right there. Ah, I like it though. Wow, I like the way that loose brush work kind of created a nice little area there for my painting. Cool. This is probably a sand trap here, so stay out of that if you're a golfer. All right then. You know what? I think we're getting about ready for the palm trees today. Anybody in the audience want to see me go for some palm trees? Because it's going to be pretty radical. If you don't want me to, or you think it'd be bad move, destroy the painting or something, you just shut up, or at least chat out. But that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Again, I'm going to go for my go for some palm trees. It is Palm Springs. There's a lot of different kinds of palm trees. The ones that I'm kind of thinking of down there are actually not a date palm. I don't think they're just a kind of a decorative palm, I believe. But they'll have, of course, the big trunks, very straight for the most part, little curves in them. They have a little thick area at the bottom. I'm just thinking aloud here as I compose my thoughts. Paint it, palm it up. Okay, man, we're gonna palm it up right about now. Now, the big question is, what brush do I use? My goodness, I got 100 over here. Maybe over 100 brushes. Too many. All right, so yeah, there could be a ball lying in that sand trap. I think I will put maybe Bullet Bros golf ball in there. But right now, we're gonna palm it up. Alright, so to do that, I need to make just the right viscosity, I think you call it. Viscosity of the paint. And I will say that having done a lot of oil paintings, I love oil paintings for what I'm about to attempt now. Oil has the best oily feel when you start, especially doing detail work like I'm going to put in right now. I mean, and acrylics, a little more challenging. It's not quite as nice, but I'm gonna give it my best shot because I'm working in acrylics today. you know, sometimes you work with what you got, right? That's right. Work with what you got. And just take responsibility for the outcome. But sometimes you got to pull the freaking trigger, you know? I mean, tell you what, sometimes that's just, you know, I've seen people in life and in business get into, you know, paralysis by analysis so many times. Not today, folks. We're going to palm it up here. But I am being careful to mix my pigments to the right viscosity here, which means that just the right amount of water. And then we're going to have to just get bold. However, having said that, I do want to share with the audience one of the concepts that I often employ, and it's like, it just basically, it says, where do you want to put these new objects here? Well, they're going to be primarily vertical objects, and you know, they are wherever I decide to put them, but you know, I'm just going to play around a little bit with some of these dimensions. I think one of them absolutely belongs right here, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. A little more water, then I'm going to do it. Look at it. Okay, I'm going to do it, just roughly speaking. Yeah, right about there. Okay. Now, I need to make this tree trunk. I'm going to try to make it in a single stroke here. Right there. Wow! Cool. Done it. Did it. Okay, kind of like it. And I'm going to create a few more like that using this. Just one little stroke of brush. Maybe I'll go. Maybe one belongs right here. Maybe it's a little shorter. Like right there. Loving it. Wow. How could that be turned out so good so far? I don't know. And then I'm going to say, well, that's about it. I'm going to do one at about. Yeah, right here. Another one, little short guy. But this one's going to have a companion. Right there. And this one will have one. Right here. Pretty straight. Okay. Palming it up here. Oh, show. And then we're going to put one right there at mile marker 5. It's going to be a little darker. I don't know why. Now the base of these trees they just have a bunch of that palm frond stuff around the base. So I'm just going to create the image of that. Partway up there. Each one of these will have the same idea. Let's say they're the same species in my world today. And we're going to have that effect. And some of these, I might as well point out, more light is hitting some of these than others. Possibly due to the direction of the sun, the trajectory of the viscosity and so forth. You'll know what I mean when you study painting, like I have for so many years. Okay, actually, you know, I could leave it right there and call it good. And for those of you who don't have my X-ray vision, I'm going to use my hypersonic zoom to show you where we're at here. Just created my palm tree trunks. Sweet. Okay, get back to normal zoom. I have kind of adopted a new handle, a new name in this Twitch world, referring to myself as the analog man in a digital world. Think about it. So much has gone digital, right? One day, all this analog stuff that I call painting, like this analog when you're doing it with brushes and literally just physical material. Yeah, analog man in the digital world. Perhaps came back from the future to share how it used to be and how it will be again. You never know. All right, I'm liking it, but I gotta be think about this. Think about it. Okay, so what I want to do is make my lower parts a little thicker and more pronounced where that barky stuff happens on these palm trees. It's actually pretty significant. It's like quite thick down here in the bottom, and then at some point it comes shooting up like that. Pretty cool. A little bit more of that, a little bit more of this, and a little bit more of that. A little this, a little that. And let me also think about the number. What is the actual number of palm trees that I want here? Do I really want 6? Not. I got 6 right now. I think I really want 8. Tell you why in a moment. I think I really want 8 of these bad boys. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in my other vertical. It's kind of neat the way I'm getting some verticals, really some solid verticals going in here. Now there's a palm tree, I think, trying to poke out. It's actually maybe the biggest one. Wow, right there. That's pretty bold, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that one. What? Right there. I just kind of like that. That's kind of cool. There's this palm tree back in there that's saying, "Don't forget me. Don't forget me." So that's number 7. I gotta think of where I want number 8. I'm kind of thinking number 8. Wow, I just found the spot for it. And you guys it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be dead center with that one. How could that be? Well, it is in my world. I'm liking this the whole time I'm doing it. I usually charge extra if I'm doing a live painting with sound effects, but like but today I'm going to include it as part of the package. Everybody out there has never seen this before. This guy's crazy, man. Okay, those are my palm tree trunks. And I am liking them a lot. Doing my best with these plastic acrylicos that I'm painting with. You know, it used to be, if you've ever studied art history or you just run across this information, it used to be that pigments were made from all natural materials. There wasn't such thing as acrylic. So things like blue. Oh, it's one of my contest questions. What materials, naturally occurring materials, were used to create blue pigment in painting? And a couple good answers when I did that little riddle. One of them was cobalt. Actually, it is a naturally occurring substance. But in the context of the question, I was looking for the answer lapis lazuli, which is the most popular mineral used way back in the 4,000 years ago by the Egyptians and other ancients. Lapis lazuli, and so they grind up this gemstones into powder, basically gemstone colored material, mix it with linseed oil often, and that would create the pigment. And a lot of the earth tones, as you can imagine, were done that way. So we're getting pretty close to doing some palm tops here. So for that, I got to think a little bit about my color scheme. I had got some more yellow ochre. Let me grab that. In fact, I had purchased a whole bunch of these new tubes of paint. And I'm going to add some yellow ochre to my palette. And yellow ochre is a wonderful color. It's spelled O-C-H-R-E, yellow ochre. You might think it's pronounced ochre, yellow ochre. And I'm going to work with that and my hookers green, white, and a little bit of the brown. And we're going to start, yes, we're going to start doing it. We are going to start creating the palm frond tops. I haven't actually ever practiced these, so we'll see what happens. But in my mind's eye, and actually I have a reference photo too, so it's not just my imagination. I think what we're going to do is start with the dark part of them, right dark. Using some actual black. I don't use black very often. Okay. And we're going to create these little palm tops here. Scream, chat out. Shout out if you think we're going crazy here. Does it look bad? Does it look good? Actually, frankly, I'm really thinking this is freaking awesome here. Awesome. Big old palm top. Let's get my darks. Freaking awesome, man. Look at that. You know? Whatever you were thinking seemed to be pretty right on. Woo! Like it. Okay, that's a good color right there. Stick with that. There's one right here. Just still staying with the dark still. That one's a little farther back, so it's a little smaller. Not that all palm trees are the same size, but that's how the mind interprets it usually. Because according to the laws of perspectives, things the same size that are farther back look smaller to the eye, right? Wait, that's too deciduous. What the heck? I started going deciduous, man. Like palm. I'm gonna go palm. Alright, how did I mess that up so bad? Talking and chewing gum at the same time. Pretty much. Might as well just let that one go free. Go free, little buddy. It's a good one. I don't mind that. Well, while we're on such a good roll here, we'll do the same thing. Remember, these are palms, man, not deciduous. Okay. All good artists talk to themselves, I would think. Alright. Another little palm. Over here. I gotta tell you, I think I'm crazy, but smashing the brush sometimes gives you a nice little touch, which lets you then have a more controlled randomity, if you know what I mean. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please still visit my Twitch channel and follow me. I'm not like some guru that needs, or somebody that needs followers for my ego. It's just that I need 50 followers so that we can post these videos right on Twitch. Cool? Good deal. If you get around to it. You're actually watching this right at the moment. You could be on You could be in the future watching this on YouTube right now, or you could be live with my group today on Twitch, in which case, if you feel inclined, just go ahead and say like it. Now, that's cool, but I'll let the audience tell me what's kind of goofy about that one. Just to see if you're all paying attention, or if anyone's paying any attention. Not that it matters. I'm going to go ahead and put another one right at the intersection of that blue mountain and the lighter one behind it, which I really kind of like in that effect. Now I haven't added any of the actual highlights to these palm fronds yet. That is yet to come. I just wanted to have a consistent palette for the darker shade there. By golly, I'm liking it. I don't know about you. If you're in the, hey, if you're in the audience, you think this is crap, just say so. Not that I will give a big hey hoo, but you can express yourself however you think is appropriate here. I don't even know if the mic is working today. I forgot to check. Hey Mike, got a friend named Mike who does all the sound. Mike, is the sound working? Hey Mike, is the sound working? I figured somebody would tell me if it wasn't. I had to rush today. I just got out of makeup and that sort of thing, and rushed in here and jumped live right on the air. I don't know if you knew that was a joke about the makeup. I suppose I could hire a makeup department, Right? I could. Wardrobe, makeup, could have it scripted. We could tell it ain't scripted. That's for sure. That's for sure. But anyway, I do the live painting channel as much as anything because I enjoy it. But I also wanted to create a hangout spot and possibly someday even a way people can get exposure for their art. And it's free. It's not like I'm trying to make money off this. If I ever do, it's really just to buy more paint, and art supplies. Okay, so that tree bent a little bit. I don't mind that at all. I don't know how many more trees we want, or I want, or how many more trees we're gonna do. Maybe none, because frankly, I think I'm kind of digging it. We got 8, I think. Isn't that what we said? I don't know. Oh yeah, everything's going deciduous unless I really force myself to. I live in the Pacific Northwest. We don't have palm trees really. That's why in my world, I gotta remember I'm painting palm trees. That's funny. I don't care you, right? It's funny. Okay. Ooh, ha. Well, I see one little missing one down here. It's probably going to be quite small in terms of its total topside mass. But the other thing is that painting to me is relaxing. I get plenty of stress in my day. Hey, you want to get stressed out? Just watch the news. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to think I should cut back on the news, but it's been one of those years. This is 2019 for historians, just checking this video out from the archives, or maybe you're an archaeologist and you discover this video, this strange digital medium they used to use. And maybe you're in the year like 4012 or something, right? Well, this is the year 2019, and it's quite a year for politics. Let me tell you. I think if you dig around, you're gonna wonder what really happened. I hope it's not after some sort of cataclysm or World War III type thing. I certainly hope that. In any event, you know what? By golly, there's my palm trees. And for everyone in the audience today, okay, so people will be liking the palm trees in my world. Yay. Now I just noticed something whizzing through the air. Plop! It made a sound. Golly darn it, what happened? I think it's a little golf ball that wound up in the sand trap. Right over here. There it is. And it doesn't look like a very good lie. Fried egg lie, actually. So, good luck with that one. Little secret hidden things in the painting are always good. Well, I don't always put hidden things in there, but in this case, now we are going to add the highlights to the palm trees. And a simple palette again. Oh, very simple. I'm going to highlight it up with a little Naples yellow, or that yellow ochre, little yellow Naples yellow. Look at that brown. Make a little area here for my highlights. It ain't going to take much. It's not going to take much pigment because those trees are small in my world. But you know what? I'm getting kind of crazy here. And I said to myself before this session, Warren, maybe you should get a little crazy and just put some pure colors in there when you do your highlights. So we got something called emerald green here. Okay. I'm going to make a tiny little area for emerald green. And I usually use, well, not usually, but lately I've been using a lot of this, what's called hooker's green. Notice the difference. Emerald green is like that bright green, leprechaun green. Hooker's green, more subdued, a little darker. So, but then again, life, I didn't come here to lay up, so may as well just put some nice little bright highlights in here. In fact, I'm going to go one more layer of crazy here. I'm going to go with that freaking cad yellow, man. I haven't done that in a while. Okay, these are going to be little tiny highlights to really try to pop the highlights, okay? And I encourage you to get crazy sometimes. I do. And I talk with the brush in my mouth when I'm manipulating all these pigments. So, making a mess. I've already destroyed the carpet in my studio here, so whatever. Okay, so highlights, here we come. Start with some yellow ochre and white and a little bit of that green. Sometimes you need to whisper if you're doing this really, really delicate work. You gotta whisper. So we're gonna start putting those little highlights in here. Pretty pure color. Pretty pure. I mean, cad yellow and emerald green, my goodness. That's pretty pure. There might be a few, my golly gosh. I can see them just popping with the color. Pop it. Mostly on the side where the light's coming from. Occasionally though you get a little light on that far one, like there and there. It's a little hard probably to see it with the webcam, but I'll use my high technology to show you the detail in just a moment. But that is exactly what we're looking for. What I was looking for. Popping it with some highlights. Getting a little broader and a little bolder there. Not bad. I like it. After all, call them highlights for nothing. And I'll call them low lights. Nobody said this was a low light. Highlight, baby. Wah, wah. Sound effects. Liking it. Okay, we'll zoom in on that. My high-tech digital zoom going here. Okay, that's what we've just been working on. Those are some highlights into the palm trees. Okay, get back there. All right. I wonder if they would let me put some recorded music background into Twitch. I don't know, I have to research that. If anyone out in the audience knows about that, basically the question is, are there any copyright problems with just playing some, some music in the background while I record live? I have to look that up. Maybe some of you know. In any event, I'm just adding highlights to the palm trees, and the palm trees are the latest addition of my little family here. My little world. The big question is when to say a painting is complete, or at least stop. And I think we might be at that point. I have to query my studio audience today, or my online audience. What do you think? Keep adding stuff to this? I'll tell you what. I tell you what I was thinking of doing, because remember I told everybody I called the tree removal service, because a big tree. I created a big tree over here, really big one. It was like gigantic, and actually it's sitting outside my patio. That's what I saw. It's big old, but it was a deciduous tree, very pretty, and it added a lot of depth to this. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put it back in. So I'm looking for any input from any of my colleagues out there on that. And if I don't get it, by golly, I'm just going to do whatever the heck I think. Now, at the moment, though, I do like this painting. So I want to make sure I have the right number of trees. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could either add 3 more or call it quits there on the trees. Big one would be 9. 8. Not that I'm into numerology all that much. Okay, anyway, there is one little thing I see here that I want to do. And it has to do with that sand trap area there. It just seems to me like needs to go a little farther out this way. That's what it seems to me like. All right. Make the executive decision here that we are good on this one. Call it a wrap for today. My name is Warren Stokes, host of the Live Painting Channel. I broadcast every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Feel free to join us. I'm going to post my contact info for just a moment. Feel free to follow me on Twitch and or YouTube.